Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. The scandal that is threatening to swallow Donald Trump's presidency whole just keeps getting bigger. A ton of news today. First, the president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was issued a subpoena from House Democrats demanding he turn over documents related to his attempt to pressure Ukraine into investigating Joe Biden. Democrats alerting Giuliani to their demand, a letter pointing to, quote, an investigation of credible allegations that you acted as an agent of the president in a scheme to advance his personal political interests by abusing the power of the office of the president. Also today, the Wall Street Journal reported that the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, took part in that infamous July phone call in which President Trump pressured the Ukrainian president, which raises new questions around the State Department's role in both the crime and the cover-up. A week ago, Pompeo was asked about that very call and pretty much pretended he just knew nothing about it.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that President Trump pressed the president of Ukraine 8 times to work with Rudy Giuliani to investigate Joe Biden's son. What do you know about those conversations?
So you just gave me a report about a high-seek whistleblower campaign, none of which I've seen.
Oh, Martha, that's just a report about a thing. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not all. More news today. The New York Times reported that Trump pressed the leader of Australia to help his Attorney General William Barr gather information to discredit the Mueller probe. A Justice Department official later confirmed that report to NBC News. Now, the propriety of this request, of course, is far from the abject abuse of the Ukraine call and the facts around that. And presidents can ask foreign leaders to cooperate with investigations. But the investigation itself here looks like little more than a political vendetta based on conspiracy theories. That's the one Barr's pursuing to undermine the Mueller report retroactively. And it is another instance of President Trump using the full force of the presidency to pressure a foreign leader to advance his own political interests. And just like with the Ukraine conversation, the White House seems to have known exactly how bad all this looked, reportedly restricting access to a transcript of the call to a small group. They didn't want anyone to know what Trump was up to. And all this is happening as the politics of impeachment are shifting very rapidly. Last week, a Quinnipiac poll had support for impeaching the president and removing him from office at just 37%. 1 week later now, 47%. A split nearly half the country. And that's not just an impeachment inquiry. That is a question about impeaching and removing the president, dragging the guy out of office. First time in American history. And that's a long way from where we are now. In terms of where we are at this moment, in another poll, 55%, a healthy majority, support the impeachment inquiry itself. Public opinion is moving fast, in part because Democrats are now united, and in part because the facts are just so bad for the president, and the attempts to spin them away are just so transparently pathetic and flailing. Every time the president gets near a microphone or a camera, he keeps admitting to the basic structure of the scandal. He personally intervened to stop nearly $400 million of congressionally appropriated military aid for Ukraine, while his personal attorney badgered and attempted to bully the Ukrainian government into investigating his political foe. And when that wasn't enough, the president himself called the Ukrainian president up personally. And when the Ukrainian president said, "We really need your military aid," Trump responded, quote, "I need you to do me a favor, though." And then he told him to investigate a crazy conspiracy theory that gets Russia off the hook for the 2016 hacking, and B, his chief political opponent. And for the record, Trump really did say the word, though.
And President Trump replies, "I would like you to do us a favor, though."
Well, you just added another word.
No, it's
you said,
in
"I'd
the
like
transcript.
you to do a favor, though."
Yes, it's in the White House transcript.
That was the top Republican in the House, Kevin McCarthy, offering what can only be described as a disastrous attempt at defending Trump.
You say the president has done nothing wrong. I take that to mean that you find it appropriate that the president asked Mr. Zelensky for an investigation of his Democratic rivals.
The question before the House of Representatives is to impeach the president based upon a phone call that the speaker never even heard.
Mr. Leader, with great respect to you, and I apologize for interrupting, but these are the White House talking points that were emailed to the Congress earlier this week.
I've never seen one talking point from a White House.
I've never seen a talking point from a White House. No talking points, no White Houses here. That's what it looks like when you try to defend this set of facts. Here's Senator Lindsey Graham's go at it.
This seems to me like a political setup. It's all hearsay. We're not going to try the President of the United States based on hearsay. I can't believe we're talking about impeaching the President based on an accusation based on hearsay. I'm not fine with this President being impeached based on hearsay, and the entire whistleblower complaint is based on hearsay, and we're not going to impeach a President based on hearsay as long as I'm around.
Hearsay, you say, we all say. It's not hearsay, okay? No matter how many times Lindsey Graham says it. Most of it's in the public record, but most importantly, we have the call notes themselves, for the love of God. That has to terrify the White House, really. Everyone knows the Republican Party is scared to death of Trump's base, but it's also the case right now things are extremely dynamic. Tom Bossert, who was Trump's first Homeland Security advisor, had been publicly loyal to Trump until yesterday.
You know, the whistleblower's complaint says that White House officials were deeply disturbed by the president's phone call with Zelensky. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I'm deeply disturbed by it as well, and this entire mess has me frustrated.
Also this weekend, Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger described a Trump tweet as, quote, beyond repugnant. He was referencing just one of the 46 tweets or retweets the president unleashed yesterday. This one, he was referencing, quoting a Trump TV guest, suggesting that if Trump is impeached, quote, it will cause a civil war-like fracture in this nation. As the scandal deepens and support for impeachment grows, a cornered and desperate president with no actual defense to fall back on has been reduced to lashing out, which in his case amounts to sitting in front of the TV and frantically typing out unhinged tweets. Like, for instance, that he wants Adam Schiff questioned for fraud and treason. Treason, a possible capital crime for a member of Congress who had the temerity to investigate him. And as for the whistleblower, Trump has already suggested the whistleblower and the people who talk to him should maybe be killed, like in the old days. And now he says he's trying to find out who the whistleblower is, even though the whistleblower is protected by federal law and exposing them would be a felony.
Mr. President, do you now know who the whistleblower is, sir?
Well, we're trying to find out about a whistleblower. When you have a whistleblower that reports things that were incorrect.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.